Okay, so we open up here at Astarpa River, and I'll never remember that name. Well, so I think. With now here we go. Arzawa's having the initiative. The initiative rolls are tied. Both main leaders have a 4 in their initiative value. Let me see if I can hunt the other guy down. He's over here. I gotta be real careful when I'm zoomed in because I have this tendency to pan real fast, and I can pan at a certain speed at a distance, but when you're closer up, just like when you're in a moving car going past telephone poles, well, when they're close to you, you really see them. And if they get close enough, you can kind of feel them. Anyway, I decided for my initiative, and it was a tough call, to move the heavy chariots because I want to chase these lights further away, opening things up so that my infantry advantage can strike both their infantry and maybe chase away their heavies. Why is this such a tough call? Well, because my lights could slice through their heavies and shoot them up a bit, but they're not going to drive them away completely. So what it comes down to is, well, I can do a little damage to them, but their heavies are still going to be able to do some serious damage to my infantry. Other option would be to move my infantry. It's not quite in range to strike, though, so I'd rather not. And striking in this direction, well, that's a little less advantageous. I kind of want to do it, but this seemed like all the pluses are in the favor on it. So we'll see what happens, because if I can kind of slide around from the back, I think I can really kind of scare those guys up. Well, that was effective. These guys don't have tremendously high tactical qualities, and I kind of screwed up with one and withdrew after firing and dropped him to the route level, and he didn't survive the route. He didn't go back up into the battlefield. Over here we got a charge. This guy's about close to the route level, so he's got a good chance of breaking right here. He does not, but we'll go through the fight. And the others, just pushed, and most of the numbers on these are not good. This light force has to get out of here and go find some place to regroup. It's not in good shape at all. Plus, I got that melee to do, which will probably rout this unit. The Hittites got their momentum pick, and they made the roll. We're going to use the heavy cav for this. The Arwazi or whatever trumped in, succeeded. They needed a 4 or less. That's 50-50. And pretty much smashed out the rest of these horses, or chariot units. Now, you can see we're getting close to the edge of the map. It's not clear what should happen at the edge of the map in this game. It's assumed to be kind of a featureless plain, so my gut tells me scroll the map, just like you would in an SFB game. Throw some more hexes on, or just shift everything down. And I think I would do that in this scenario, but luckily for me, so that I don't have to do all that, these guys were pretty weak already, and we can see a couple of them routed over there in the center. Nothing fresh over here on the chart. Nothing new ran completely, but these are almost dead. If that infantry goes forward, it's going to crush them. So things are looking really, really bad for the Hittites at this point. Well, I felt like they had the better control of the setup, etc. Whatever happens, I don't know. What was left was able to scatter pretty easily. We got one way up here, and the other one's turning and moving back towards the Hittite lines. Basically getting as far away from these heavies as they can. And by doing that, I was able to also take a rally action, which didn't help at all. But on the other side, the Hittite heavies scare away the light chariots. Mixed results, but they did more damage. Once you break one, or once you push one away, you can start slipping into the side and hit the flanks of the others so that you do damage to every single one you're forced to retreat. Really nice effect here where these light chariots just can't hold up. I mean, they can't afford to stand. They'll get wiped out. and running away they take more damage than they cause with their more effective weapons. Meanwhile, the heavies just slid by. This hex had a shock infantry in it that they shot up, knocked out, and it's stuck all the way over here now where the banner is. And they also tried some shots at this one that didn't work. The advantage here is now they can take some of the pressure off this, so they're getting 2 one-on-ones instead of trying to attack 2 different units and attack this shock unit head on. Neither side has to make any tactical quality checks. I'll take those attacks in right now. Mixed results there. The chariot broke. It was weak. But this chariot is almost broken as well. Here, well, hitting the shock infantry even on the flank isn't pleasant because the defender is superior, which means double losses to the attacker, and the table is only a 3 plus 2 for positional advantage. If I could have gotten a rear attack, I would be superior myself, but I couldn't. And also because I had to engage all over the place and had to at least maintain the threat of it, I couldn't have possibly done a rally attempt. See where else we go this battle. The Hittite infantry moves up, trying to screen some of these routed units. They actually did a rally attempt on this, but none of them went. The Arwaza also did a rally attempt with this light cav move. Let me explain both things. First of all, the rally succeeded, which means that shock infantry can rejoin its force at some point. But what happened with these chariots is they rode by at 2 hex distance, firing at this unit. Not a lot of damage they can do out there. At 2 hex distance, they only do a hit on a 0 through 3 because of the armor effects. It's a 0 through 4 normally. The armor composite against the chariot is +1. But, and they also took some shots here with some of these further out units. The advantage of it is, 1, they can do the rally attempt, and 2, they don't have to suffer a javelin throw at them. 3, they don't have to get as close, which means they don't have to turn as tightly. So it all seemed advantageous to them. It's going to be kind of tough getting these Chariot 3s swinging around after them easily. Of course, some of them aren't going to have too hard a time, and they're going to be able to cause some chaos on some of the chariots. But that's okay. I'm swinging the main force around to get behind the Hittite infantry. And meanwhile, these others are kind of in multiple different directions, the Hittite chariots. Some of them facing this way, some of them facing against the infantry. A decision's got to be made which way you want to go. It's easier to hit the infantry. But either way, I've got to turn some of the chariots. It's going to be kind of painful. And now the Arwaza infantry attacks, and we've got it. All of these have no shock up to here, no TQ. They're all just going to slam in. We've got to make a lot of tactical quality checks across here. Of course, the routed unit's likely to fail and just flee from the battlefield. But also, I'm hitting a couple of them chariots, and that's sweet. It's very sweet to get that kind of revenge on them. Those are going to be flank attacks, and that's going to cause a lot of pain. Why didn't they get out? Well, this one's engaged, and this one over here, well, he's not feeling too well. If he retreated from a flank attack, he'd be routing anyway. And all those, oh, I haven't gotten to them. All the routed units are gone. We've pressed against the standard. It's kind of dangerous there. We've got kind of penetration going on here where we busted through some other units. But I forgot to do the, I rolled their tactical quality checks, but I forgot to do the attacks themselves. Let me do them here. Right now we've got another 16 points. Let's see what else we can create. We got an SI hitting a chariot, no bonus there, but it's only the 6 table against these, but it's a +2 for a flank attack. That puts us on the 8 table, and that'll be 2 each. No tactical bonus. He's hurt. So we make a quick check on him. He's at least routed, right? He's dead. And this guy will be advancing. And let's see about this other one here. Again, it's a flank attack, so it's on the 8 table, but no bonuses. No superiority bonuses. 8 at 7 gives me a 2-3. This guy can't attack because he's got him in the flank. He can't do anything about him. 2-3 only brings him to a 7. So we've got a bigger engagement going on here. Assuming this guy survives. And he does. So things are a little more complex. Put an engaged marker there and an engaged marker across those. And now we've got 10, 23 more points off the Hittites. They're not in good shape after this. 23 drops them down to 18. They're just about busted, and you can see the other side is still doing pretty well in the 50s there without a lot of risk in play. They still got some picks left. Not a whole lot more. The Arsawa got their momentum, but then it got trumped as well. Sort of their chances are pretty low. Anyway, that was triggered for the light infantry, and they took another attack as well, just firing some missiles to try to soften up the weak shock infantry that are in the routing units. At the same time, because I wasn't closing, I was able to rally and rallied some of those units. Missiles are going to be recovered along with those rally markers. Not a lot else happens in the between phase or between turn phase of this game. I'll load this one up, but this is kind of our picture of the battle. We step up a little bit. Out here, scattering from the chariots. In here, the big fighting between the two infantry formations, with really the lights being all that's holding up with the Hittites. And then over here, their chariot swirling battle. This is still not completely decided because the Arwaza our chariots have managed to avoid the kind of doom that we saw the Hittites face over here, just by, really good timing. That's what this game seems to come down to, is the chip pulls give you better timing, there's less planning, less plotting. It can be very interesting, but like the Men of Iron series, it feels a little more random than the Great Battles of History usually do. In fact, with the chip pulls, it feels more random than the Men of Iron usually does. That can be positive or negative. I don't mind it. Alright, up it goes.